BushInChainz joined late and missed Dominique Ariel. Hopefully, he isn't just some anti-Putin idiot and reveals the White House Prince of Peace, Nobel laureate's militaristic destruction of the Ukraine's democracy. Why do you Krugmanites love militarism, hegemony, war, and murder so much? All right, I'm going to take that in reverse order. I'm not a huge fan of murder, hegemony, and war at all. And actually, the person that's engaging in war right now is Putin. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about an invasion of a neighboring country. So I don't totally get that point. I don't understand, but it's also Ukraine, not the Ukraine, BushInChainz. And I don't know what you think the United States did to instigate that or what Europe did. Every type of empirical piece of information we have was that it was a genuine uprising. Now, I will say this. I think Professor Ariel was definitely, obviously, he has a very, very strong perspective, clearly. And I think there's a couple of different things here. Look, number one, anytime when Russia takes, or any country takes an, so go to Iraq, was Saddam Hussein a horrible, brutal, cruel dictator who was guilty of any number of truly catastrophic human rights abuses? Absolutely. And that's a completely important and valid thing to talk about. But he did not have a chemical weapons program. He did not pose any security threat. And the pretense for invading Iraq was fraudulent. And that was the main issue to talk about. So as far as I'm concerned, the main issue to talk about right now is Russia, under the flimsiest of pretense, even flimsier than Iraq, has engaged in military action in a country that, through a broad section of society, including some people that absolutely I don't like or trust, and I want to talk to other people about this. I think we talked to Professor Serhiy Ablatky several weeks ago. I think he had a little bit more of a measured perspective. But the bottom line was, in both instances, was that this was a genuine uprising that included some very undesirable elements, but nonetheless, that's the reality of most coalition politics, to go after a total kleptocracy, which had then turned to brutal human rights abuse and suppression, operating entirely as basically just a client state of Russia. And my instinct is always going to be with people, no matter what they are and no matter who the patron is, whether it's Russia or the United States or China. I'm going to want to be on the side of people who are out trying to do something better. And I'm also going to be on the side of people who are saying, resisting an invasion from a neighbor who actually indeed has hegemonic ambitions. Now, I don't think that we should have some type of stupid, overblown neocon reaction to this. I think that there's, in some respects, I don't know how much can actually be done, but some things do need to be done, and this is a disastrous thing. And I feel like the problem is that I like to look at the world in terms of power and in terms of oppression and in terms of uprisings and democratic accountability. I guess it's like I like to look at things thematically. So it's not like because the Russia is a geostrategic rival in some ways of the United States and because they call us out on our hypocrisy that all of a sudden I'm going to overlook their disastrous and cruel foreign policies. I think the goal, period, is to try to have an open and honest intellectual conversation and hold everybody accountable. And mostly what we do on these shows is focus on U.S. foreign policy because obviously we're Americans, so that's why we've covered everything from drones to Iraq to TPP, which is actually another appalling multi-generational abuse that's being spearheaded by the United States. But I mean, I guess that's my. You can have criticisms, and there's a lot to talk about. I have no idea why you would want to run into justifying the most crude type of 19th century power politics imaginable, which is what's happening right now in Crimea. That's just reality. There's no debate about that.